All right, hopefully you guys can hear me. So I'm going to assist by connecting the pieces. So I'm Tanya Campbell, my husband is Nathan, and we have 3 children, Kaylin, Alex and Morgan. So there's no doubt in my mind that being a mum is one of the most important, impactful roles that I'll have in my lifetime. As a mum, I often wrestle with finding balance. So am I providing for the physical needs of my child without raising them to feel entitled to everything? Do I allow them the freedom to learn through making their own choices, but teaching that those choices have consequences, both good and bad? I looked at my daughter. Do that. Have I modelled love and compassion for others while showing them that it is okay to set boundaries with people? And you can imagine this list goes on and on and on. Today, with Kaylin's blessing and permission, I'm going to share with you the struggles I faced as a mother. I've got a tissue in preparation for So I faced as a mother coming to terms with my daughter's chronic pain diagnosis. And if you can't already tell, there are tears. This is one of the lovely blessings that my children have given to me as a mother. I used to never cry, and now I cry a lot. All right. So in the second week of school in 2019, Kaylin, whilst attending a school excursion, suddenly experienced intense headache pain, causing nausea, dizziness, and difficulty standing. To this day, the pain has never gone away. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year for the past 5 years. The pain fluctuates in intensity. At its worst, Kaylin struggles to perform daily activities normally. Her legs get shaky, making it difficult to walk. She often feels sick, and it's common for her to vomit even when aided by anti-nausea medication. She also finds it hard to engage in regular conversation. On the better days, when the pain levels are low, you probably wouldn't notice that Kaylin is experiencing pain. And of course, there are all the days when the pain levels sit in between. Pain levels can fluctuate with little warning, and a relatively low pain day can become intense in an instant. Early on, after the onset of the pain, as Kaylin undertook medical testing, I prayed for healing, I prayed for the cause of the pain to be revealed, and I also prayed for God to prepare me for the diagnosis. You see, having been raised in a Christian home, and through personally seeing what has happened in the lives of many other Christians, I was very aware that being a Christian doesn't exclude us from experiencing hard times. The Bible is also full of accounts of faithful people that, despite their beliefs, endured struggles. While I believe that God who created this world was a powerful God who could move mountains and heal Kaylin, whatever the diagnosis might be, I also knew that healing does not always happen, and regardless of the outcome, that I needed to lean towards God and find strength in Him so that He could enable me to support my daughter. The testing, for the most part, including the 13 pages of blood testing, came back clear. No lesion could be found on her brain, and her heart functioned perfectly. And while this was reassuring, it also caused more questions. Was the testing done correctly? Was something missing? If nothing can be seen to physically be causing her pain, then what's causing it? Over the next 12 months, we visited our local GP or specialist every other week. We continued to have no diagnosis, and we were continually waiting on appointments with specialists. Medication that was increased wasn't helping pain levels but having other side effects, and specialists that were clearly outside of their level of expertise began grasping at straws to explain the secondary behaviour rather than the cause of a pain. As a mother, I tried to support Kaylin as each new day often had its own challenges. We tried to be thankful for the little things and maintain our sense of humour. An example of this was with the paediatrician, who, despite having explained to him the sheer persistence and determination of Kaylin to use the walls of the house to hold herself up to get to the car, seemed to have decided that her lack of attendance at school must in fact be due to bullying. When asked the question directly, Kaylin's direct response of no, quickly followed by, "My friend Hayley would have taken care of that," was so unexpected that I barely managed to contain my laughter. It was time to find a new specialist. The absolute lowest point for me as a mum was receiving a message on the final night of school camp from Nathan to tell me that Kaylin's pain was so bad that she was unable to move from a hunched seating position on her bed and that they had to call an ambulance. Not even the magic pain whistle helped to ease her pain. And again, because Kaylin medically checked out fine, she was sent home with the unhelpful advice to take Panadol and Nurofen, neither of which gave pain relief. The following morning, after praying with the school chaplain, I again began researching possible treatments for headache pain. I need to explain that researching headache pain is nothing that was new. I'd done this countless times before. Only I had never successfully found anything helpful. I did this day. In fact, it was the first thing to appear at the top of the Google search, a headache and pain management clinic located in Brisbane. In April 2020, in the midst of stay-at-home orders due to COVID-19, returning home after a medical appointment with this headache and pain management clinic, Kaylin said to me, "Mum, if I have this pain for the rest of my life, it's not the worst thing." This statement speaks to Kaylin's true character of patience, persistence, optimism, and bravery. It was because of this statement at the time that I realised that I needed to have the same level of peace in the situation that Kaylin had. Even on the darkest days, the stars still shine. Kaylin's quote on her bedroom door at the time. As mothers, we simply want what's best for our children. In my eyes, that was a pain-free life. But what if there were other outcomes to the one that I'd focused on? At times, coming to church has been really hard. I had to be reminded, and it might seem logical, that I needed to seek what God wanted me to take away from the messages each given Sunday. I remember being particularly discouraged after hearing a series of messages about how sickness and misfortune were generational curses inflicted by God due to disobedience of previous generations. And while I'm aware of many situations in the Bible where disobedience and unwillingness to repent resulted in severe consequences, in each one of these situations, God showed love and mercy through trying to provide a way out. I realised that the doubt and disbelief in God was evil trying to use this situation for me to question the power and character of God. The presence of evil in this world, Kaylin's chronic pain, the suffering, it's a result of us living in a fallen world, one full of sin. In December 2020, a year and 8 months since the onset of the pain, Kaylin was accepted as a patient of the paediatric pain specialist team at the Children's Hospital and given a chronic pain diagnosis. So what is chronic pain? Chronic pain is caused by an oversensitive processing system in the brain. Every time our brain receives a signal, it must make a decision if it is dangerous or non-dangerous. In the case of chronic pain, the brain concludes that it is dangerous, even when the reality is that it is not dangerous, and the single signal that it sends out is a pain response. It's important to note that while Kaylin experiences chronic pain in the form of headache pain, it is very different to having a headache or migraine. There is no medication that can be used for chronic pain. Over time, through the work of the pain team, we started to unpack some of the environmental factors that could impact pain levels. Did you know that sounds and lighting can make someone physically sick? I didn't. I can look back on this now and appreciate God's hand in the timeliness and outcome of the diagnosis and referral process. The discovery of the pain and headache clinic played a huge role in beginning to understand Kaylin's pain, and that was instrumental in the next steps of the referral and subsequent treatment plan that followed with the paediatric pain specialist team, also known as QIPS. With the support of QIPS, and me only needing to enact Mama Bear mode a few times, Kaylin successfully completed Year 12. We've learned a lot about chronic pain, specific triggers that increase Kaylin's pain levels, and management strategies. Overall, Kaylin can participate in daily activities more frequently than she could, and as a result was discharged from the pain team treatment program last year. We've attended a life group forever. If you're not a part of a life group, I strongly encourage you to join one. I am so thankful for my life group who have encouraged, supported, and prayed for us. One of our studies looked at the life of Jesus, unpacking the idea of the lower and upper story. The lower story is what we see here on earth. The upper story is what God is doing, and this is the part of the story we don't see what's happening in the background. In the crucifixion of Jesus, for example, the lower story believed that Jesus was the Messiah who would save them. Imagine the discouragement they felt when he died in the cross. In comparison, in the upper story, all along God knew that Jesus' death was the only way to conquer death, saving all people for eternity. I questioned again how I looked at the whole situation with Kaylin's pain and took comfort in the upper story, the pieces that God is working. The lines from the song Waymaker go, "Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. God is Waymaker, Promise Keeper, Light in the darkness." It was while singing this song in church one Sunday, linked back to the message from our life group, that I realised this was also true for Kaylin and her situation with chronic pain. There is a peace that comes with realising that God is working in a space, even when I don't see it or feel it. So Kaylin continues to deal with chronic pain every day, but the real joy as her mum is seeing what she does despite the pain. You see, chronic pain doesn't define who she is as a person. It is simply a giant she faces every day. She has a strong determination, and even greater, she has a strong faith. She knows that God is with her always. Her current quote on her bedroom door is Psalm 23:4. "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." So through this journey, I've seen my boys develop empathy and compassion, often selflessly giving up what they want to do to choose an activity that allows Kaylin to participate. We have all learnt to be the voice that someone else needs when they themselves struggle to speak. I have learnt to be patient in the quiet and simply be present with my children, as that is enough even in their pain. And most importantly, this journey has strengthened my faith, as I've realised that my earthly idea of what is best in situations is limited. Even in the challenging times, I have comfort in knowing that God is not only with us always, but is working, especially in the times I don't feel it. I'm going to invite Gary up.